We're going to do an M9 update now. I'm going to ask the Kawasaki team to join us, and let me just introduce them. To join us at the table, please. We're joined by Mr. Kanahana, who is President and CEO of Kawasaki, who's joined us from Japan. Mr. Araki, who is the President of Kawasaki USA. Mr. Hanakawa, who is Managing Executive Director and President, Rolling Stock Company, Kawasaki. Mr. Matsufuji, Executive Director and Vice President, Kawasaki Rolling Stock Company in Japan. And Mr. Morale, who is Executive Director, Marketing and Sales, Rolling Stock Company, Kawasaki in Japan. I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues, Commissioner Law and Dr. Metzger, who are co-chairs of the Commuter Rail Committee. Kevin and Susan.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. I know we have a packed agenda today, and that Phil will be providing a status update on the M9 delivery. So I will be brief, but I do want to take the time to thank the President and CEO of Kawasaki, Yoshinori Kanehana, and his team for being here today. It was very reassuring to receive your prompt response to our request, and we appreciate your attendance today. It shows respect to this board and our board, and likewise we will be respectful to you. Governor Cuomo appointed several new members, including myself, to this board earlier this year. He asked us to bring change. He asked us to not accept the status quo, and he also asked us to make sure we stay on top of projects, that they get delivered to us on time and on budget. Vendors like Kawasaki are very important to the MTA and our operations, and they impact us daily, and we need to let all our vendors know how important it is to understand that budgets and schedules matter. My colleagues on the Long Island Railroad and Metro North Railroad Committee met last month and then the other day, and we thought it would be helpful to invite you here today to discuss the M9 as well as our overall relationship. And I'm now going to hand it over to Phil for a brief update on the M9, and then we look forward to your comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Law. I'd also like to echo your sentiments. I'd like to thank President Kanehana and your entire team for being here today. Your prompt response is indicative of your commitment as you've flown in from Japan to attend this meeting, and we appreciate your commitment for this. A safe, reliable fleet is what I've been talking about. It's a critical component of customer service and employee safety. Railcar design, we know, and builds are complex efforts as we challenge car builders to continuously improve upon previous designs. But when done right, we know the benefits to railroads and to our riders. They are huge. To date, we've contracted 202 cars with Kawasaki. Currently, we are in pre-operational testing, which is an essential phase of any car build, as it puts a new fleet through all the daily rigors of a railroad's operation and customer needs. The trains are run throughout the system as if it were in revenue service, but without customers, so we can test and evaluate and fix. The good news is that the fixes have been developed, and all of the remaining few issues are being implemented and addressed. We expect the 4,000-mile testing to begin tonight, a week earlier than anticipated. That is very good news. Kawasaki and the subs have continued to produce cars in Lincoln, Nebraska. We currently have 41 cars in New York. Between the cars on Long Island Railroad property, which are being testing and training for our employees, and cars in the Yonkers facility for final assembly, those 41 we're anxiously awaiting to put into service. Key staff from Kawasaki and the railroad have continued to work daily as the pre-operational testing was done, and we will do so through operational testing to ensure that every day's tests will be reviewed jointly, evaluated jointly, and if any direction or decisions are needed, we will make timely decisions to keep this moving. So I'm here to just in closing, before we turn it over to Kawasaki, based on the recent progress, I can state that we expect a successful operational testing period, and that Kawasaki is now in the final stages of delivering revenue-ready fleet. Kanehana-san, I know that you agree the Long Island Railroad has been demanding, but you and your company expect no less of yourself. I know that. We both want to provide a safe and reliable fleet that we'll all be proud of and our Long Island Railroad riders, customers can enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yang. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Thank you very much for making time for us today. I'm Yoshinori Kanehana, President and the CEO of Kawasaki Heavy Industries, which is the ultimate corporate parent of Kawasaki Rail Car in Yonkers. As you know, KRC is performing the M9 contract with LIRR. And some of you may know my career started with R62, which is 1982, almost 40 years ago. Started from MTA project. Since then, I was a system engineer of R110A project for NYCT, as well as a project manager on R142A, and I was president of Kawasaki Rail Car in Yonkers from 2002 to 2007. And now I'm head of Kawasaki's global operations, spanning not only rolling stock, but all segment of Kawasaki's worldwide business, which includes rolling stock, aerospace systems, ship and offshore structures, energy systems and plant, industrial robotics and precision equipment, motorcycles and engines. Kawasaki is aware that the board has been frustrated about the delays on the M9 project, and we welcome this opportunity to address the board's concerns about progress on M9 project. When Mr. Foy called me to ask that I attend this meeting, I immediately agreed to come. In fact, to help me demonstrate Kawasaki's respect for the MTA board and our good faith and seriousness about working with LIR to fulfill the M9 contract. Here with me today are quite a few of my top executives. Mr. Honkawa, the president of Kawasaki's worldwide rolling stock operations, and Mr. Matsufuji is vice president of Kawasaki's worldwide rolling stock operations, and Mr. Murao, the head of Kawasaki's worldwide rolling stock marketing operations, and Mr. Araki is the CEO of Kawasaki Rail Car in Yonkers. And Mr. Honkawa, Matsufuji, Murao, and I, myself, all flew in from Japan to attend this meeting on the MTA board in person. Also, it's too crowded to have him at the table, but Mr. Anthony Clarizio, KRC's program manager for the M9 project, he's here. As various board members noted in June, Kawasaki is indeed a large international company. We are here today to let everyone know that Kawasaki does care about budget and headlines. And this is why there has been a long relationship between Kawasaki and the MTA agencies. I'm proud to say that Kawasaki's relationship with MTA agencies go back continuously for nearly 40 years, as my own history at Kawasaki demonstrates. And 27,047 rail cars made by Kawasaki, including for NYCT, MNR, and Long Island Railroad, are in service and contribute to public transport in the New York metropolitan area. MTA and its agencies are our very important customers, and we have allocated competent resources and sufficient budget for MTA project to maintain good and sustainable relationship with MTA and its agencies. As Mr. Brown kindly noted in June, Kawasaki has historically achieved almost on-time deliveries of the best and most reliable vehicles in the fleet of each of MTA agencies. It is important to note that on any project, issues come up because the rail cars are complex and specially designed for each contract and customer. But Kawasaki has been always able to work together with our customers to resolve all challenges and to deliver on our contracts. So speaking for myself and the entire Kawasaki team, I assure you that we are just as committed to continuing such same tradition on the M9 project. It is true that the M9 project has had issues. That is not by anyone's choice, but we have been working diligently to recover as much time as possible and to take proactive measures to prevent recurrence. Kawasaki is gratified that Long Island Railroad's president acknowledged that last month the excellent progress that Kawasaki and LIRR have achieved together on M9 project. However, we recognize that there is more to do and that we need to continue to work diligently to resolve the open issues. As Mr. N reported last month, 75% of the issues identified by LIRR were closed. Since then, another 7% have been closed, and there have been no new issues. The remaining 18% are essentially the following, and we have already established solutions and are applying them now. Automated station identification, automatic speed control. The operational testing of first 14 M9 cars will be resumed tonight, and LIRR and Kawasaki have established a prompt decision-making regime to support testing in any unforeseen circumstance. Also, Kawasaki is mobilizing sufficient resources on site for solution of any issue during testing. Assuming all goes well and no new issue arise, Kawasaki has enough confidence to believe that we will achieve conditional acceptance of first cars before the end of August. A conclusion, given the complexity of M9 cars and the requirements placed on Kawasaki by LIRR, we believe that Kawasaki has been providing excellent service under the contract, as we have for MTA for decades. Kawasaki has been working diligently to satisfy LIRR's requirement for M9 cars, and that we have been making substantial progress despite the issues along the way. And I commit that Kawasaki will continue to do so. This is because we understand that the LIRR needs these rail cars as soon as possible. As a result of co-working between LIRR and Kawasaki and thorough verification and testing prior to conditional acceptance, we share the goal set by LIRR that M9 cars should be very reliable from day one of passenger service, and expect such goal will be accomplished. We are very proud of the M9 cars. For now, we hope that the MTA board, the committee, Mr. N, and the commuters who ride LIRR are reassured that Kawasaki will continue to work very hard to satisfy the high expectations of our customers. Thank you very much.
Mr. Hanakana, thank you so much. Very reassuring words, and they were very pleasant to the ears. And so thank you for that. And again, thank you for showing the respect to this board, for being here with your team. That was also reassuring, and we appreciate that. I just have one question for you. Are you concerned that any of the delays with the M9 will create any delays for other MTA projects like the M8 for Metro North, or the or the R211 for the transit agency?
Yeah, of course, if any delay happen on M9 cars, all of the other projects will be affected. So that is very important for us to keep a schedule on M9 cars. That's why we increased our resources, put the people on the site, call vendors, everyone to sit on the site. If anything happens, we will promptly respond to that problem. So yes, M9 on schedule is very important for us.
Dr. Metzger.
Kevin asked the question that I had because I do represent Metro North, and we're always looking forward to having your products on our properties. They have been immensely reliable. I thank you not only for coming today, but for addressing our concerns as quickly as you did, and I'm very happy to hear that testing will start tonight. That's ahead of the schedule that we thought we would have, and I'm assuming we'll continue to see this going forward. Thank you.
Mr. Albert.
This is really great news. I've always been a big fan of Kawasaki rail cars. I can actually tell them on site because the finish and the attention to detail is just so much better than many other manufacturers. And I am really pleased to hear that and wonderful that you came here and showed everybody how important the project is for you, and wish you continued good success.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Samuelson.
Yeah, I didn't quite get the answer on the R211 on whether it's going to be timely or not, or whether it's keeping to schedule. Could you just go over that again?
R211 is on schedule or even ahead the schedule. We completed all of the preliminary design review, so we are in the stage of critical design review, and we completed the mock-up review, and everything is on schedule or a little bit ahead the schedule.
Okay, and just another thing, in getting the award for the R211, Kawasaki agreed to abide by the U.S. employment plan, which requires local hiring and workforce development and other issues like that. So there's submissions that are supposed to go, worksheets that are supposed to be developed to ensure that local hiring and workforce development is being done in compliance with the U.S. employment plan.
Mr. Araki will.
Okay.
Actually, recently we just had a first audit from MTA agency to make sure those requirements are happening. So we are following that requirement.
And you are compliant?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Commissioner Samuelson, as you know, Kawasaki has a significant facility in Yonkers, New York, employing lots of New Yorkers, and the MTA is very focused on that. So thank you for your question.
How many people are employed in Yonkers?
Currently we have about 500 persons.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Mr. Brown.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Richard Rogers said 80% of life is showing up.
That was Woody Allen.
Well, Woody Allen quoting Richard Rogers.
Okay.
So I stole from Richard Rogers, you stole from Woody Allen. But regardless, we're grateful you're here, and we scheduled really nice weather for you, too, if you got here a few days ago. You know, it was 110 degrees. But I have a technical question for you besides the patter, which I always do a little patter. But could you describe to me the technical issue with the automatic station location? What's the nature of the problem that's holding you up, or what's the nature of the device you're using?
Can Mr. Araki explain?
That is actually automatic station announcement. That last thing we are doing is fine-tuning exact station location to make the timing of the announcement. That we are doing as a last action.
So will that same technique or apparatus, will that be applied to the R211 and the other subsequent? I mean, is this a new level of locator?
It's very similar. Yes.
Mr. Kanahana, thanks to you and your team for coming. Thank you for the good news, and we look forward to continued progress and deliveries. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.